So hyaline cartilage right here. When we talk about this cartilage, understand that, right, we find it at the end of the long bones in movable joints, and you find it in specific areas as well, between the ribs and the sternum. You have something called costal cartilage. That costal cartilage, made out of hyaline. Hyaline cartilage is strong and smooth, right? It's not as strong as what we'll talk about in fibrocartilage, but it is still strong enough. Now, anybody's ever eaten a drumstick? Right? Not the, right? When you eat a drumstick, or when you eat a chicken or turkey thigh, all right, if you look at the ends of the bones, you see that real shiny material at the end of the bone? That is our articular hyaline cartilage, right? So the kind of shiny, thick part of the drumstick found at the ends and found at the top. Well, that is hyaline cartilage there, right? Smooth, tough, right? Looks kind of white. That's that hyaline cartilage. We have the same anatomy, very similar to that, right? At the end of our, right, and the top of our tibia, the tibia is a drumstick, by the way. Thigh is your femur, right? So it's kind of weird calling it what it is, right? Tibia and thigh. So drumstick and, right? So when we look at the, your tibia, you'll have cartilage in the top, cartilage in the bottom. Now, we also see it in the rib cage, like I mentioned. There's a little bit of distension possible, right? So then you can open up your rib cage, allowing air to enter your lungs. We also see it at the epiphyseal growth plate, at the ends of our long bones. Next type of cartilage, right? So again, right, make sure you kind of, write the highlighted material down. I know if you kind of print it out in black and white, obviously it's not gonna have this, but I would just highlight it as we go through it. All right, elastic cartilage contains lots of elastic fibers and cartilage material, cartilage matrix. So what happens? It's strong, like cartilage, right? And I want you to touch the top of your ear. The top of your ear, right, contains elastic cartilage. You can feel that kind of thickness there, right? And then when you squeeze it in, you let go, the elastic fibers allow you to spring it back to its normal shape. Rigid but elastic properties. So you can bend it and it goes back to its normal shape. Found in when we talk about external ear, only the top. The bottom of your earlobe does not have cartilage. It's just soft tissue. The epiglottis is a flap that stops food and water from going into your windpipe or trachea. So that needs to be able to, when you eat, right, the bolus of food needs to hit the epiglottis. As the epiglottis moves down, it closes over your windpipe. So then the food doesn't go into your windpipe or your trachea, right? Once the food gets directed into the esophagus, well, you want the epiglottis to open up. So if the epiglottis doesn't take its normal shape and open up, you can't breathe, right? One of the reasons why you can't breathe when you're swallowing food or drinking is because the epiglottis seals that gap, right, over your windpipe. So then as you're eating, no food gets into your windpipe. By the way, as we get older, drinks become harder, right? Because when you drink something, anything, right, you just have those droplets hitting the epiglottis at different times. When you swallow like a chunk of food, well, that chunk of food has a lot of mass. When it hits it, it's easy to close the epiglottis. When you're drinking fluids, when we're young, the fluid hits it, and just as soon as you hit it, closes up. When you get older though, when you drink, right, the fluid hits epiglottis, and it doesn't close all the way. Then the fluid seeks into the trachea, and it causes people to cough and cough and cough as a result, right? So what do? We put thickeners into their drink, right? So then that thickened orange juice will then hit the epiglottis with more mass, so it doesn't go into the windpipe. The last one we're going to talk about is fibrocartilage, which I think I must have skipped right here. All right, fibrocartilage. Cartilage contains thick collagen fibers. So it's a combination of our strongest type of tissue, our dense, regular collagenous connective tissue, along with cartilage material. So now you have strong cartilage, strong connective tissue, right? Making this the toughest type of cartilage, second only to bone in terms of strength. The reason why we don't have bone is that even with fibrocartilage found between your vertebrae, you have a little bit of mobility, right? Much more than if we had bone here and you fuse it, right? If you fuse a bone together, you're not gonna have mobility here. So by having that cartilage here, we're able then to move things a little bit back and forth. It's strong. It's found in areas where we deal with a great amount of pressure, right? So in the knee, your knee contains fibrocartilage called meniscus. It helps support your weight. Found in the disc, that helps support our weight at the thorax and abdomen. Right. I will stop right here.